5 apartment buildings.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to go to Bank of America. I don't know who you bank with, but Bank of America may not specialize in that project.
Right.
Because your income comes in different ways. You're an independent business. But we would take it to one of our wholesale lenders that specialize in specifically those projects based on what that property is generating.
Okay.
Okay, because on a commercial building like an apartment complex, most lenders are looking specifically at what that property does.
Okay.
Okay, and in general rule of thumb, they're going to lend anywhere from 50 to 65%. Some will go as high as 70, 75, but it's going to be dependent on location, property type, the type of bank that you're going to. Maybe it needs to be, instead of a Chase or a personal bank, a big bank, it needs to be a direct commercial lender.
Okay.
And a lot of people may not, know how to do that or how to get there.
Right.
Well, what banks will partner with us is because we're going to put the file together in a way that fits their specific credit guideline.
Okay.
So they like working with companies like ours because it limits their overhead, and we're giving them exactly what they're looking for.
Well, it limits their overhead, but it also limits their risk. Let's be honest, because you're in a place where you can sit with a client and you can say, look, I know this particular lender is looking for this type to finance this type of apartment company. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So, or maybe this lender specializes or looks for these industrial, projects, that kind of thing. That helps them with their wheelhouse,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
And it helps them with their perceived notion of risk.
Yeah,
right?
And you kind of hit that on the head, because some of the banks, they may be, their portfolio may be full of apartments, okay, let's just say, or they may be full with gas stations, or maybe have their overflow of different types of commercial lending. So they'll close the spigot, if you will, by raising the credit parameters
right.
for that, for
right.
approval. They say, hey, well, we only will do 50% loan to value, and we want to see a debt service coverage of 1.5 on the property.
And that's what I'm saying. When you're talking about risk, if they feel like they're overweighted in gas stations they financed, or if they feel like they're overweighted in, industrial buildings they finance, they're going to be looking for apartment buildings, for instance,
exactly.
right? So they have certain sweet spots, certain things they're looking for that they feel will help to mitigate their risk, right?
Yeah.
Because it's diversification.
Exactly.
And that's the coolest thing about what you do, because you're able to go and fill that void.
Exactly.
So they're looking for this, you're able to take that client that's looking for that and put them together with that particular need.
And what's really kind of reciprocal with our relationships with our lenders is that they want to keep the deposit relationship, if you will.
Right.
Because again, back to your make-up story about you've been banking there since you're at birth, and
right.
You now have thousands of dollars there, but you're a great depositor. But on the loan side, they can't do that. They want the relationship.
Right.
Well, we'll take your file for that bank and take it to a non-bank lender, or a bank that doesn't care about the deposits.
Okay.
So it creates a win-win relationship with my lending partners and you, as well as my other investment partners, and,
okay.
and then vice versa. My non-bank lenders, they don't care about deposits and your liquid net worth and all
right.
that stuff. They
right.
just want to see a performing property with a borrower that may have experience at that specific industry, and that's where we can put them at the right place there.
And that's where a lot of people don't realize, I don't think, that really it's the commercial property itself and what the commercial property actually produces in terms of income.
That's
right?
exactly right.
That really is the deciding factor.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've got to have the down payment, and yeah, you've got to have the ability to cover if something happens and somebody vacates or whatever. But if you've got a quality tenant that has a quality balance sheet, that's in a quality product, quality property, the chances of finding a lender for that property are pretty good.
That's exactly right. And taking it a step further, some commercial properties where there's going to be we call owner-occupied or business owner-occupied, the lender is going to look at that borrower and the building a little bit differently than a non-owner-occupied property.
Right.
So they will look at the strength of the business or the person that's going to be occupying, say this office and industrial warehouse property. So they're going to be focusing more on the strength of the business,
right.
Including the building, but more on the strength of the business, because it's going to be a tenant in there. That's going to be the tenant. That's going to be the revenue stream.
So give me a success story, something that when you look back on your career, when your career's done, which I know will be a long time from now, but when you look back, it'll warm your heart.
Yeah. Well, what I typically do, one success story that I use a lot is one of my past clients, he bought a bar.
Okay.
He bought a bar. It was a small loan, about $500,000. and he didn't have a lot of outside collateral on that, and so but he had been in the industry for a number of years. And so what we did an SBA loan to purchase it. He only had to put down about, in this case, it was 20% because he was buying an existing building. And but we funded the deal with an SBA loan, so now he's in there occupying it and operating the building. Well, move ahead, a couple years later, he decides that he wants to expand and buy another location. So but he had, at this time, unfortunately, he had market trouble, so the situation came to where he had some negative dings on his credit because he had to do a short sale.
Okay.
Well, the benefit of working with our situation was that we were able to partner him with another SBA lender that had no issue with that, to where he went to his bank and, hey, short sale, even though your credit's good, you had, essentially you have the short sale on your credit. But
and a lot of people did, by the way.
Right, that's the thing. But our non-bank lender, they're like, well, we can work around that because we like his experience. He had an successful bar that can debt service the loan, no problem. The bar he's buying, which includes the real estate, it made sense for that lender to do it. So now it's a win-win situation for them. And we partner with them on other investments because we want to position customers like him so that we know that he's an investor in real estate because he has other real estate. And we partner with them to make sure they secure the financing for that real estate. And if we know 2 years down the line that, hey, I do plan on getting this, well, we want to position you from a cash flow standpoint on your tax returns so that we submit it to other lenders, you're in a good cash position from a revenue standpoint.
Right.
And the benefit that we do is do the adjustments to the cash flow, adding back depreciation, things, one-time expenses that general lender won't look for, and we're going to clean it up to show the underwriter specifically this is how this transaction is going to work for this customer, regardless of the dings that you may typically see.
So now he owns 2 bars.
Yeah.
How cool is that? That's awesome, man.
And other stuff. So,
great job, Keith. Great job. That's Keith McLaren with Zion Capital and Commercial Mortgage. And he's actually with us the entire hour. He'll be back in just a minute. We have our Winning with Wealth segment coming up. Make sure you come back. This is the Mike Litton Show. We'll have more with Keith, and we'll be talking about how to win with wealth after the break. This is the Mike Litton Show. I'm your host, Mike Litton, your real estate expert. If you have questions about real estate, call me directly, 760-802-9500, 760-802-9500. Paulie's on the boards. We'll be right back on a Thursday night.